going on, everybody? It's Fandom Empire Live, part 2 of our Halloween versus Friday the 13th matchup. Friday the 13th holding the surprising 4-2 lead at this point. We're also going to be talking some AEW. I hope Johnny's watched the Stranger Things trailer, or Tommy has, or something, because Mike's not here. And, well, I haven't, and I haven't seen a single episode of the series. So I see Johnny shaking his head in the green room, admitting that I indeed was always better than him at Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's cool that he admits it off air, but better late than never. Joining us on this, I was going to say monumentous occasion, but it's just another Tuesday. It's Johnny. What's going on, man?
It's a stupendous Tuesday.
Oh, fuck off with that shit. Oh, my God. I never watch, and, the accumulative probably 3 hours I put into those 2 days. I could not believe how many fucking times I heard that word.
But it was stupendous. It was the most stupendous two-night event in history.
Yeah, I'm sure the dude's name to just Theory was.
Yeah, he got stunned so hard he forgot he was Austin.
I guess so. Fucking Star Wars Theory has a bigger follower than him. They're gonna shave his head bald. He can be the Star Wars Theory fucking wrestler.
Seriously, for those listening, I was indeed nodding that yes, I have watched the Stranger Things trailer, and
yes, that he is not as good as me at Star Wars Battlefront 2. Tommy, let me tell you, I'm getting, in a completely platonic way, excited by one, how much better your phone camera looks than I'm using a 4K camera and your phone camera looks better. And two, you're not frozen, man. You actually move. You are so fucking crisp right now. You know what?
This is nothing but a fucking burden. I'll tell you that right now. This is not a permanent solution.
No, the permanent solution would be to stop the freezing. By the way, I see the chat is active. We will get to the chat in due time. How are you all doing today? Tonight. It's no longer today. Today would require there to be daylight, which there isn't.
Well, now how do you know that? Maybe we got listeners on the West Coast.
We could. Yeah, 6:40. Still daylight over there. Star Wars Episode 5, The Return of Tommy. Yeah, I think I like The Empire Strikes Back better. Yeah, we got one hell of a show in store for everybody tonight. Right off the top, though, just want to let everybody know, yes, we're going to be talking about this tonight. Yes, we just released a video on this yesterday. I think it's around 4,000 views. It's done very well. We're going to dive into that, and we're going to dive into it right off the top here in a couple of minutes. So be on the lookout for that, all you fucking Halloween fans that just got to have their Halloween info. Fuck everything else. Halloween's life. No, I'm kind of being tongue-in-cheek with that. Halloween's starting to spice up. It's that time. CinemaCon's coming up. It's basically going to be all gears forward from now until the fall, which is kind of crazy. But also joining us tonight, it's the man, the clear vision Tommy B. What's going on, man?
Hanging in there, This is not a permanent solution, I'll tell you that right now. My phone is literally sitting on top of my laptop screen. So that's not good for the laptop one bit.
It's not that heavy.
It's weight. It's weight. I wouldn't do it. But we'll do it for tonight. What the hell, right? Yeah, it seems to be holding the connection better.
Michael says, how long before Tommy freezes? Well, if he's on his phone, I would guess you're going to be waiting as long as Tommy's here for that to happen. So,
knock on wood.
Which is probably not at all.
I just don't get it because my phone is still connected to Wi-Fi. And, I guess it might use the data for backup if the Wi-Fi blips, but...
Some news pieces right off the top here, gentlemen. First up, we'll start with the unfortunate passing of Gilbert Godfrey. Any just real quick, brief thoughts on what was obviously a very storied career for him? I hear his voice and I think Aladdin.
It's hard not to think Iago. Really. But for me, I think of the... obviously Iago, of course, but live action, it's... was it Wedding in Vegas, Saved by the Bell?
Yes, I believe he's
where he was the... Wasn't he the pimp, I think?
I can't remember. I actually, you know what? Speaking of Saved by the Bell, I'm glad you brought that up. Michael Rosenbaum has a new episode of his podcast out, Inside of You, and he sits down with Mark Paul, who played Zach, and it is honestly a wonderful 80-minute interview that really goes behind the scenes of, just how shitty the talent was handled back then. So it's definitely a good listen to. Tommy, any Godfrey moments that come up for you?
Nothing in particular that comes to mind. I'm scrolling through, filmography and all right now, and yeah, a lot of notable things I'm recognizing. Yeah, definitely a long storied career, one who will be missed.
Absolutely. The other bit is apparently Jim Carrey, we'll see if he sticks to it, has retired from acting. Obviously a legend, obviously a very storied career, obviously a Canadian who doesn't like to be known as Canadian. But I mean, Jim Carrey has done lots of wonderful things. And to be honest, though, a lot of his more popular things are not some of my more favorite work of his. Not a big fan of The Mask, not a big fan of Ace Ventura. But he did a bunch of things that I did like. But like the guy's up there now, and if he wants to be done with it, then I mean, I'm fine with it. Thoughts, fellas, on if this is the end of Jim Carrey acting?
Probably not.
No, but if it is, any thoughts?
I mean, yeah, he had a fun career. I did like, that run of Jim Carrey movies in the mid '90s. Everything from like 92, 93, I guess, until probably about 2000. There was so many great movies mixed in there that he did. I mean, I think everything, like probably everything before Me, Myself, and Irene, I thought was amazing. He had his hits after that as well, but before that, I can't think of a Jim Carrey movie that I did except Ace Ventura 2. That movie was yikes.
By the way, everybody, if you want to have a question and a comment read on air, the number one way to do that, send in a super chat. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by heading on over to Patreon, patreon.com/Fandom Empire. The link's up in there, not the link, but the URL, I guess, is up in the top right-hand corner of the graphic. And we also have activated the YouTube channel members, which is great for upcoming shows like this one. We've done one episode of it so far. We have some more talent coming on that you'll be able to ask questions to, and be on the lookout for some of that as well. And most importantly, leave a like. Hit the like button, pardon me. Leave a comment. Hit subscribe. Or else Jared's going to come on here and stunner every one of you. True story, he told me. Anyways, let's dive into this. Hey, what do you know?
Another Halloween Ends update? Oh, do we have to?
Right? There's actually some interesting things out there right now. For those of you that have already seen the short, I think it was like 7-minute video. Appreciate you going and checking that out. And again, if you like what we do here, the number one way to support us is just spread the word of mouth. Share around the link. Share some images, whatever. It definitely helps out a lot. So yeah, Halloween Ends update. The big one from this update is really what we're getting out of the shape in Halloween Ends. It's a little vague, but it gives you an idea of how much different it's going to be than even both of the previous two movies. And I definitely want to dive into some of that here while we're on air and see what you guys have to say about it, because I mean, obviously I already know about it. I made the video. The number one thing I want to throw out there is when Jason Blum comes out and says soon. I know everybody's like gun-ho about this, but it's like soon. When's the trailer coming soon? There's not going to be a trailer before June. There shouldn't be a trailer before June anyway. CinemaCon people will see something. We will hear all about it and probably not see it till June. That is my guess. That is my educated guess and outlook on it. We don't need one yet either. Like, the movie's not until October. Calm down. Let's marinate in it a little bit, people, because you're not going to see this for a little bit after this year. Could be a few years. So yeah, when Jason Blum says soon, let's not immediately jump to the, it doesn't mean it's imminent. It doesn't mean it's tomorrow.
You're just a hater. You don't want the movie.
I don't want the movie. I will get your guys' take on this one, though. Also in the rumor mill lately has been the possible appearance of Danny McBride in Halloween Ends. As we know, he co-wrote Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills alongside David Gordon Green and others. I have never been one that thought Danny McBride should have a main role in these Halloween movies. I do think he would be distracting from the more serious nature of the storytelling narrative that they've taken with these movies. I do think he'd pull you out of it if he was like a supporting character or whatever. However, I would be totally game for a Bucky-like, Danny McBride one-off scene with Michael Myers in Halloween Ends. Just a one-off, a cameo. He does some stupid Danny McBride shit, and he gets killed by Michael. I'm okay with it at this point, but I wouldn't want it to be anything more than that. Johnny, Tommy, tell me how you guys feel.
I mean, yeah, it'd be hard to separate. I love Danny, but to me, he was, and always will be. Oh God, what was the character's name?
I know who you're going for.
There it is. He was, is, and always will be Kenny Powers. I every time I think of Danny McBride, I see him doing, the standing on the mound doing the dance, with the fireworks going off and the American flag cape on his back, he will always be that character. I mean, even, was it Vice Principals, the show he did with Walter Goggins?
Yeah.
Even there, he's still Kenny Powers, just not quite as extreme a Kenny Powers. You can't put that in this Halloween franchise and have it be serious. It doesn't work. It takes you out of it, and it just becomes, pandering. I don't know if it's pandering to him or to, other people who are like, you're Danny McBride, you need to be in the movie. Like, no, I'm good. I just...
Quickly here, just because I want to interject for a second. Shorter show tonight, by the way, everybody. I know usually we're on here for 90 minutes to 2 hours. We're basically looking at an hour tonight. So if there's anything discussion-wise you guys want to get in, put in the comments now. We might not get to it for a bit, but feel free to get that in now because we won't have like an exclusive Q&A section at the end of this show today.
Am I wrong in thinking he had a scene for Halloween that was cut?
No, he did not. They were close.
I know it was one of those things that we talked about, way back in the day. He was playing like a security guard or something.
He should have.
I don't know if it was filmed and cut or just filmed.
He should have. I'd be so good for that. Or with that, pardon me. Tommy B, what do you think? Danny McBride, man, you okay with him popping up in Ends?
I don't have a preference, honestly.
He doesn't give a shit about Danny McBride. He hates Danny McBride. Fuck Danny McBride.
I wouldn't say hate. I just don't really
Fuck
have a
that
preference.
guy.
Don't have a strong opinion. If you want to be in the movie, be in the fucking movie,
I want to be in the movie.
It's going to be a piece of shit anyway, so.
Oh, God.
Damn, Tommy.
Fucking Tommy with his hate.
You got extra in the salt today.
I guess so. Who's shitting his cornflakes?
No, but seriously, no real preference. Just if you're gonna be in the movie, make it a at least meaningful cameo. You know what I mean? Don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Have it be something fucking stupid.
I will say this, not to rain on everyone's parade. The reason why I even brought it up in the video as I've seen it going around a few groups. I feel very confident in our track record and for stuff with Halloween movies that have come out recently. So I will tell you this. I have seen no proof whatsoever that Danny McBride is in this movie. None. Can place him on the set. Can place pictures of him on the set. Cannot place him actually filming a scene or scenes. That said, if they're doing just a one-off cameo and it's just a one and done scene, that could have easily been done and just been on the down low, and not many people have caught wind of it. So, not saying it's not going to happen, but I'm saying right now your expectation should not be to see Danny McBride in Halloween Ends. And if it happens, great. But I definitely don't think that should be the expectation. And last, but most certainly not least, and definitely most important when it came to this update for Halloween Ends, is the shape in Halloween Ends. Now, make no mistake, it's been a lot harder to come by info for this movie than the previous two, even. The lips have not been as loose. As you know, loose lips sink ships. But, I mean, in general, if you're someone who looks for leaks or talks to people who have the wherewithal to be able to provide you with updates or rumors or whatever, the one thing that has been consistent during this entire process is there hasn't been a whole heck of a lot of the guy currently on the screen right now. Now, I know that might worry some people, but to me, Michael Myers is at his best when he's not seen as frequently. You know why Jaws works? Because you don't see the fucking shark the entire movie. I get it. Halloween Kills was this in-your-face Michael Myers movie. Every type of kill you could think of, he basically did. He was at the forefront. There was no trying to hide him, really, outside of the flashback. And it sounds like in this movie, I don't know if I want to use the word tamed down a bit, but I would go more with, it seems like he stalks his prey more. It seems like he's not as, outside of his opening kill, which is quite bold, it seems like he's not as bold in this movie, from what I've heard so far, as previous ones. I take all of it with a grain of salt, but if you go back to the original Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978, Michael Myers is, and this is how he's supposed to be depicted in this trilogy, although it hasn't really been doing that, is a dude. Or I guess something less than a dude, something less than human. But there isn't supposed to be like this well-known supernatural presence with him. Although I would argue, if you've seen Halloween Kills, it seems quite impossible for there to not be a supernatural presence. But I think this is good, guys. I really honestly believe, and if Jerry's okay with it, I might actually bring him in on this one, because I think he's seen some Halloween movies. Nod your head if you have, and shake your head no if you haven't. Halloween movies. Yeah, he's seen them. All right. All right. I'll hand it off to you guys. Do you guys think it's a good thing that we're going to see less Michael Myers in Halloween Ends? And I think another reason for this is there is a pretty significant B plot of the film that does technically have to do with Michael Myers that we're first introduced to in Halloween 2018. But you can tell that story without Michael being on screen all the fucking time. Thoughts, guys?
I think for me, it's pretty simple. Michael Myers was built on being, the shape, on being the boogeyman. They were, Michael is the thing you're scared of. Michael is the thing you check your closet for. He's the guy you look under the bed for. He's not, meant to be that presence of just like being everywhere, being seen all the time and doing things like that. Like, Michael's best work is when Michael is in the shadows. When you do the cuts because you think you spot him around a corner and he's not really there. Those are some of the best Michael scenes. The ones that don't actually have him in it. Yes, the kills are great and they're gruesome in some instances, but in other cases, the bad movies are the movies with too much Michael. That's sort of like the delineator for me is, the better the movie, the less we see of Michael. is kind of how it breaks down to a certain degree. Like, you take away the ambiance, the prestige, the effect of Michael when you overuse Michael. You know, like it's, you know, we talk wrestling, it's the Goldberg effect in '98. You know, you don't see him very much, but when you see him, it's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and that's it. He's done. You know, it's important the next time he shows up. But, you know, we're at the point where it's more like Goldberg 2012. You really don't care about him anymore. He just shows up too often.
Tommy, what about you, man? Do you think less Michael is more?
So it depends how it's executed overall, right? But yeah, I feel like yes can definitely be more. Is the B plot worth it? Is it going to actually engage the audience, or is that going to be this is fucking stupid sort of situation?
I think there's going to be people that do feel that way about the B plot, but I'm excited in terms of the stuff that we have been able to find out. So, Jer, you came to see Halloween Kills with us, man. I know you're only here for a couple minutes, and we'll bring you back into wrestling. But do you think Halloween Ends will be better off having less Michael in it?
Yes, it's hard because the first two, he was so integral in the story being told, so he kind of needed to be around a lot more. But I think, like you guys were saying, less is more with a killer like Michael, because if you can create an atmosphere of him and not him actually being in every scene, you know, we don't need him getting 18 kills or, you know, it ruins the effect of it. So if you get, you know, 4 to 6 good kills with Michael in good scenes that are, you know, creative and whatnot, it really accentuates the whole movie rather than just, oh, hey, Michael, you know, killed, you know, 27 people and it was great. And hey, some people might like that. Some people might want that. And hey, good for you. But I think as a story being told, in certain situations, less Michael is better because you can frame scenes and build atmosphere and just create a better overall story around Michael rather than Michael being the crux of the story of the whole movie.
Nice. I would agree with that. We're going to get Jerry out of here. We'll have him back in about 15 minutes time. We got to tally up our votes. And
I checked. He wasn't in my closet.
So
Johnny gave me the heads up.
But did you look under the bed?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be back. I'll see you guys for wrestling. Come here, Michael.
Well, he hopes. Anyways, yeah, there you have it. Halloween Ends. The Shape. That's right. The Shape seems like he's going to be up to his old tricks. He's going to be stalking more. And it makes sense. Like, if this, make no mistake about it, this is going to be David Gordon Green's last Halloween movie. I still don't want to go as far as to say that for this timeline. I can't yet. I can't do that. But to bring Michael back full circle, get him closer to that Michael that we first saw, I like that. It's been 4 years, and we can tell you that it's not like Michael's just been gone for 4 years either. So there's a little more to it than that. Again, if you're new to the channel, feel free to head on over, become a Patreon member, patreon.com/Fandom Empire. We were supposed to have Lambkin Lane this past Sunday. It did not happen. Apologies. We will have a Lambkin Lane sometime later this week. We do know it's Easter weekend. I don't know if it'll be a live show or if I just pre-record it and put it up there for you guys, but we do have Lambkin Lane coming very shortly. But that is going to do it for our Halloween discussion on this episode. What do you guys think? Less of The Shape? Does it mean more? Are you happy about that? Does that mean they're more confident in the story that they have? I tend to think so, but it doesn't mean that it's not misplaced confidence. Comment down below. We would love to hear what you have to say. Johnny, I know you're terrible with time constraints, man. I know Tommy's a Stranger Things guy. In 90 seconds or less, How was the trailer? Are you excited? Why?
I'm very excited. If you're a Stranger Things fan to this point or seen anything that you like that you enjoy, it's continuing down that path of growing up with these characters. If you haven't, but you enjoy like the sort of flashbacky horror drama genre, this might be for you because that's the stage we've gotten into. You know, the first few seasons were built more on nostalgia and, you know, Dungeons and Dragons-esque things, but now we've sort of gotten to the place where it looks like it's going to be more of a horror element, and I'm excited for it. The trailer looked freaking amazing. You know, you got to see a lot of the characters. You know, you got to see some of the characters that are new this season and people you don't see very often. You know, we saw Paul Reiser's character. I'm pretty sure we got to see Robert Englund
Yep. Yeah,
in there.
Happened.
And, you know, it just looked amazing. The story looks good. It looks fun. And you see things that make you go, what is happening in the trailer? And if I'm going to be honest, that's probably the best use of a Journey song I've heard in a very long time. And I love that song.
Tommy, you see the trailer, man? Any excitement?
Totally. Without spoiling the trailer, because I think anyone with any level of interest should look at it, unless they haven't seen the show. In that case, just go watch the show.
Yeah, go watch the show.
Go watch the fucking show. This season, I think, is going to do some stuff that is going to make or break the show overall, I guess, honestly. So seasons 1 and 2, even 3, folks love this show. It's fantastic. From what I've seen just in this trailer for season 4, it really seems like they're going to start fleshing out the lore a lot more. Start explaining some things that have, they've been left in like a gray area. And I'm looking forward to that. But again, I think that's going to make or break this to a certain extent. Some folks are going to, this is fucking stupid. And they may lose interest, or they may be the type to say, well, I like the first season or 2, but I stopped there. I'm looking forward to it. I really, it's hard to have high expectations because of, all the delays this season went through. And yes, the age, changes are pretty visible with the characters. And I think that's just going to be a thing we've got to keep in mind for the future, because I believe after this season, the next season will be the last one. But overall, I'm happy. I've been a fan of this show since about the time the second season came out. My wife got me into it. She has been following it since the first season. If you haven't watched it yet, Sean, highly recommend it as always.
Did you catch our discussion on Star Wars Wastelands, which by the way is back, not the podcast, but the broadcast? Star Wars Wastelands each and every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right before Fandom Empire Live. It's no free time, man. I wish eventually one day I'll be terribly sick again. I mean, more so than I am now anyway. I'll have like a terrible flu and I won't be able to move, and I'll be like, okay, now I'm going to watch Stranger Things. That's how I got into The Walking Dead. So, but yeah. All right, let's move on. It's time. It's time for Halloween versus Friday the 13th. We did a long segment last week on this one. This will be shorter this week. We're basically here to see who wins. Right now, Friday the 13th has the lead on Halloween, 4-2. And let me pull up the picks here. So here's who's Kieran's going with. Kieran is going with Friday the 13th, The New Blood. Kieran's also going with Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. He's going with Rob Zombie's. He's going with Halloween the rest. So he's got 4 Halloween and 2 Friday the 13th, which is interesting. I legitimately feel that way. I do think it's quite interesting. And then Mike Bish, as I wait for his thing to load up here. Mike Bish is going with Jason Takes Manhattan and the rest Halloween. So I'm sensing a trend here, and the trend seems to be that the worst of the Halloween movies are better than the worst of the Friday the 13th movies. And I had a hunch that might happen, but let's see how the rest of this plays out. Johnny, Halloween H2O versus Friday the 13th, The New Blood. Who's taking it?
This one is probably the closest of all of the matchups in this particular round. But I've got to go with the New Blood.
I'm going with Halloween H2O, which leaves Tommy as the tiebreaker. Who takes it?
I would go with, and like Johnny said, this is probably the closest. But I also haven't seen, all these other Friday films, at least in recent memory. But H2O for me.
Which brings the score back up to 4-3, moves us to Halloween Resurrection going up against Jason Takes Manhattan. And those two were both Jason Takes Manhattan. I'm Jason Takes Manhattan, so this one's already been decided, but where do you two fall?
Same. Jason Takes Manhattan. Resurrection, outside of...
Motherfucker!
Yeah, outside of that, that's an awful movie. I'll take Jason Takes Manhattan.
I've mostly heard this is a fucking stupid movie. I don't think I've seen it before, but maybe.
Have you seen Resurrection?
Yeah, and we've discussed my thoughts on that. I don't think it's the worst movie ever made.
Resurrection. I forgot.
It's not the worst movie ever made.
Let me go back to blocking that out of my memory as we move on.
Most of the Halloween movies are better, but
I never thought Rob Zombie's Halloween would have a cakewalk, or rather Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And they both kind of got cakewalks in my opinion, because they both clean out Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X for me personally, which decides those two as well. Where did you guys fall with the Rob Zombie movies versus Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell?
Well, I'm split. I actually enjoyed the New Line era of Friday the 13th movies. So, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell. I liked them. They were stupid and awful.
Jason Goes to Hell.
It's stupid. It's stupid and it's awful, but I'd still much rather watch Jason Goes to Hell over the first Rob Zombie Halloween.
And how about the second one? Jason X versus Rob Zombie?
Well, no matter how bad Halloween 2 is, Jason X is in fact worse. Putting Jason in space with the metal mask is just beyond the pale of ridiculousness. I can't fathom that. And you've got Malcolm McDowell redeeming at least something in Halloween 2. Jason X has nothing that redeems it.
I actually think Jason X is better than Jason Goes to Hell. Though that might not be a big bar. They're both pretty bad. Tommy, where do you fall? You team Halloween on this one?
From what I remember from that movie, I think I saw it in the other room sort of thing. I remember it being a stupid concept. So yeah, I would go Rob Zombie.
All right, so we have Rob Zombie taking the win on both of those, which gives us, let's see, that would make it 4-3. Next 5-3-5. We got a tie game right now heading into the final two. 5-5. Halloween 2018, or Freddy versus Jason. For me, this is a no-brainer. Freddy versus Jason's a fucking train wreck of a movie. With terrible low-budget TV actors, and my God, nothing can save that movie. Halloween 18 for sure. For me. Which also gives that one the win. Where do you guys fall on that one?
I mean, I don't hate Freddy versus Jason. it's not good, but it's not as awful. You know, I had fun watching it, but you know, Halloween shocked me as a viewing experience. I expected to hate it. I did not. I actually quite enjoyed it. So Halloween over Freddy versus Jason, but it's closer than it should be for me, but not really close at all.
Tommy, I'm assuming you're Team Halloween here. Although I refuse to believe you haven't seen Freddy versus Jason at some point.
Yes, I have seen Freddy versus Jason, and honestly, I mean, I think I was too young to really realize it, but when I found out this movie was received just terribly, I was a little surprised. But no, Halloween.
I thought what they did with the theatrical releases was unique because depending on which show you went to see, you got a different ending. So that was unique. I'd like to see more of that. And then the final one right now, Halloween with the 6-5 lead. It'll either be a tie or a win. I think this matchup is closer than people give it credit for. Halloween Kills versus Friday the 13th. Johnny, where do you fall?
I fall on Friday the 13th. I quite enjoyed, you know, the revisioning, you know, of that film. I liked it. I didn't love it, but it had certain redeeming qualities that I enjoyed. You know, I'm a huge Jared Padalecki stan, so you know, there's that. And Kills just didn't do it for me. You know, it was not as good. It was too ham-fisted in certain elements. You know, pull back the reins a bit on the Evil Dies Tonight bull crap, and it might be able to make a chase here.
Tonight, or in 4 years from now, and maybe not even then.
You know, it just, they overdid it. I didn't have as much fun, you know, watching it. It was a good movie, not a great movie. So I'm Friday the 13th here.
Tommy Bizzle, Halloween Kills or Friday the 13th?
I don't think I've seen this film, honestly, but
well, then
I really enjoyed Kills. So
I will say this: Halloween Kills and Friday the 13th, side by side, is way closer than I ever would have dreamed of this time last year. Like, way closer. I'm giving the edge to Halloween Kills, though, on two fronts. The sound design in the movie is fucking fantastic. Say what you want about the story, or lack thereof. The sound design in Halloween Kills is amazing. And two, the score. It's the one thing that Nightmare and Friday and those other franchises just don't have, is they can't go toe-to-toe with the Halloween score. You know, even the Halloween 3 score is fucking fantastic. Do 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 do. It's fucking it's fantastic. It's great. Anyways, though, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for a Halloween versus Friday discussion. Halloween with the 7-5 victory, the comeback. The worst of Halloween is better than the worst of Friday. Not surprised it played out that way, but it's going to do it for Tommy B tonight. Tommy, you've never looked so crisp. You know, I know you don't like doing the phone, but it's great to see you not have to fuck around with shit every 2 seconds.
Yeah, just fucking around with my phone, right? Trying to fucking make sure my face isn't all up close to the friggin' thing. It works all right for whatever reason.
Cool beans. Sorry, this is third time.
Did you say something? I said something.
Twice already. Where can everybody find you at?
All the usual fucking places. Everybody knows.
Nowhere. Leave me the fuck alone.
Basically.
Oh, man. Be on the lookout. I'll say this for the channel. I'll give you guys a little bit of a tease here, a preview. Is we have a lot of Halloween stuff coming up. And this is our video that we're releasing, I believe, Thursday, maybe Easter Friday. is be on the lookout for that one. This is what's coming next for us in terms of Halloween pre-produced videos. So be on the lookout for it. That's going to do it for Tommy B, though. So we're going to get Tommy B out of here. Have a great night, man. I will chat with you later. And we shall bring in Jer for our wrestling segment, which still doesn't have a name, but we'll work on it. Fellas, I wish I had more time for this tonight. Sadly, we literally have 15 minutes to go over our cards. So this is the way this is going to work. We will give out a card. Obviously, there were certain stipulations put in. I found myself wishing I had 2 more matches, so I see the spot Tony Khan gets himself into. He's like, well, shit, I want to get this guy on, but they just have too big of a roster. When we vote, you cannot vote for your own card. Makes things fair. I mean, it might end up in a 3-way draw. I don't expect it to. I'm still a little frustrated with mine, but I'd still pay big money to see it. And since I'm pretty sure I'm the opening act here, and I might not understand parts of their acts, depending on how deep they went, I am going to dive into my card. And feel free to, don't cut me off too much because we don't have too much time. But if there's anything that you need specification on or want to know with the card, just let me know and I'll clarify it. Same for you guys when you're giving yours. Night begins with the number 1 contender battle royal. By the way, mine's Chicago, the stadium, Soldier Field, all out. Number 1 contender battle royal for the TNT title features guys like Miro, Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, Samoa Joe, and others. Cassidy wins the battle royal. And then I have Cargill versus Baker, TBS championship. And I have Baker going over via interference. I think someone steps up with a stun gun and hits Jade in the back, and then she gets power bombed. And oh wait, no, that was old. The late great Scott Hall that did that. And who booked that? That's how they ended Goldberg's streak. I don't know if you guys were on favor for that. I know I was. A 5 versus 5 elimination match, a Survivor Series match, if you will. You know, more than 4 people though. You got the Jericho Appreciation Society going up against Kingston, Santana, Ortiz, and the Hardys. So I needed to put the Hardys somewhere. That's where they went.
Makes sense. They're kind of done what they're doing, I think.
Point out Survivor Series was built on teams of 5 strive to survive.
I was so used to 4. Triple threat ladder match for the team championships. The Young Bucks versus FTR versus the Lucha Bros. I know the one's injured, but yeah. And then I have a fatal 4-way for the TNT championship. MJF versus Sammy versus Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin, and I have MJF going over as the champion in the fatal 4-way match. I'm listening. What did you hate about that? I seen you moving.
I don't hate it. I just think it's too low for the TNT title.
Too low?
For MJF.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I needed to put him somewhere. So, we have this is going to become a bit of a theme in this one, so apologies. But we have a triple threat number 1 contender match. This is the first of 2 triple threat matches. I really didn't want to do that, but
the second already.
I don't want to count the ladder match.
It's a triple threat match. It counts.
It's a ladder match. But I have Adam Cole versus Malachi Black versus Wardlow. With Wardlow going over. I just realized I didn't say who went over in the others. I just have Jericho's team going over. I had FTR retaining the titles. And I had Wardlow becoming the number 1 contender. I have Hangman versus Moxley in a hardcore lights out match, depending on how you want to put it. And I have Moxley going over. And then the main event is CM Punk versus Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega for the AEW Championship. And Punk wins via cheating if he can cheat in a triple threat match. Outside interference, heel turn. That's how I end it. That's my card. I'm sure you won't remember half of it by the time you're done reading yours, but
No, I like it. I think Punk turning heel is an eventual plot device they're going to use, because he's kind of like on this babyface run of going through guys that he's never worked before, and then once that novelty has kind of worn off, then we can flip the script, and then there's a whole bunch of other baby faces that he can work with.
really quickly before you guys go here, and you guys can agree to disagree if you want. To me, them moving the Adam Cole match up to next week lets me know it's Punk versus whoever at the pay-per-view. I thought they were going to wait till Chicago.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're putting a world title match on Rampage. Like, Rampage is like the Andrade and tag title show. So, you know, they're high on the rating after last week, so I kind of get it, but, you know.
Who wants to go next?
Either or, doesn't matter to me. You pick.
All right, I'll go.
We'll go John. Oh, we'll go Jared then.
All right. So in the opening match, Johnny's card loses to mine.
Please, your card couldn't even get on the pre-show. My card.
All right. Opening match. Champion versus champion. Thunder Rosa versus Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill goes over because she's on a ridiculous run right now and she is super protected, and I think that would be the logical. Notice I didn't say title for title, so Thunder Rosa can still be champion and go do her thing, but I think Jade has like superstar written all over her. In the next match, CM Punk versus Kenta, because they have the New Japan connection and Kenta has worked at AEW. I figured that's a loophole I could use. And CM Punk goes over, and obviously the draw of that match is Punk stealing Kenta's finish, 10 years ago, and Kenta calling him out on Twitter for it for the past 10 years and never getting the chance to actually smack him in the mouth. Wardlow versus Keith Lee. Wardlow over, clean match.
Powerbomb Symphony, yeah.
Big meaty men slapping meat. 6-man tag, the Undisputed Elite, Adam Cole and Red Dragon against Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Kenny and the Bucks go over only because I think Omega would be obviously turning babyface relatively soon to that match, and that's kind of the direction they were heading, but Kenny took time off, so we put the brakes on that. Blood and Guts match. Eddie Kingston, Santana, Ortiz, and Homicide against Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia, and 2.0. The finish, of course, being Homicide forking Garcia in the eye until he gives up.
Wait, you put a non-contract guy over Daniel Garcia in a blood and guts match on pay-per-view?
Absolutely. It's Homicide. I mean, come on.
Okay. Okay.
Are you going to tell him no?
Oh.
Exactly. I tried to.
What I didn't tell you about my card, Justin, was Danhausen comes down at the end, and Omega puts his arm around him and points to Punk and tells him to go get Punk, and Danhausen gets in the ring and beats Punk in like fucking 20 seconds and wins the belt.
Fuck yeah. Love
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you really WrestleMania 9ing the end of your pay-per-view here?
I mean, Punk does like Bret Hart, so he'd probably go for that finish.
Yeah.
I think he'd hate it as much as Bret did.
Yeah.
You want to do what?
Yeah. All right. So for the Ring of Honor Television Championship, the winner of Samoa Joe versus Minoru Suzuki, which I think is going to be Samoa Joe for reasons, defending the title against Miro. The catch being Miro has taken time off. He him and Joe have been, kept apart in, their years in WWE. And I think that is a very natural matchup for both their styles. And it would be, big dudes throwing each other around on their heads, with Joe going over because he's Joe. And, for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship, FTR defends against Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley.
FTR.
Danielson and Moxley go over because Regal introduces the Brass Knuckles. And then in the main event for the AEW World Championship, Hangman Adam Page versus QT Marshall. No. Hangman defends against MJF. I think MJF is Hangman's end game. He's got to be next in line. I don't know if anyone would benefit from the title as much as he would. Once the Wardlow thing's over, what are you going to do with him? He's too good to be an upper mid-card guy. He proved that with the Punk stuff. He is a top guy and should be paid as such, but that's a whole nother bundle of leaves. MJF beats Adam Page to become the new AEW World Champion.
I like that. I like the main event a lot. What do you got, Johnny?
Oh, not bad. Still think mine's better. All right. We're going to open up the card with Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho in a strap match. Because, yes, please, Eddie's going to go over and finally get the respect he deserves.
Well, we kind of figured that with the whole whipping stuff a couple weeks ago, no? So it seemed like it was going in that direction.
Yep. All right, next up, because, I think it's going to happen, and I don't want to say the sooner the better, but unfortunately I think we're going to play this out until the fall. Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti versus Dan Lambert, Paige Van Zant, and Ethan Page in a 3-on-2 handicap match. Okay. Sammy and Ty go over because that's just what baby faces do when in the ring with Dan Lambert. And next up, for the AEW Women's Championship, Thunder Rosa successfully defends her championship against the Professor, Serena Deeb.
Serena's protected enough, so I can see them giving her a title shot.
Serena gets the win over Shida in their eventual blow-off and moves on to the title.
Is that the 8th or 9th match of theirs?
Something like that. Next up, you have Sting and Darby Allin versus the Hardy Boys. All right, next up, you got
Jeff finally shows Sting what he can do.
Yeah. I figure with those four guys, you need Darby and Matt on opposite teams to keep one of the other two from killing themselves.
And maybe Jeff can stay alive past the 2-minute mark of the match. Good.
Yeah.
Because last Wednesday was really hard to watch.
Yeah, I watched it. I totally see what you meant by the less said about that match, the better. I feel bad for butchering the blade.
What, you don't like gimmick matches every fucking week for no reason at all?
They should have went over.
All right, next up.
Off the roof.
Next up, we got the TBS Championship match. Jade Cargill defends against Toni Storm and loses to Toni Storm.
My brain was going towards Tony Khan. I don't know why. I was just
next up, we have the only Ring of Honor match on the card, and it is a unification match for the TNT Championship, unifying with the TV Championship, in which we have Wardlow versus Keith Lee versus Samoa Joe versus Scorpio Sky. Wardlow takes the W. Well, you need Scorpio because somebody's got to take all these big bumps. All right, and next up,
almost. Poor guy.
Next up, you have a 4-way elimination match for the AEW Tag Team Championships. In one corner is the Young Bucks. In another corner, Red Dragon. In the third corner, FTR. And in the fourth corner, the Blackpool Combat Club. Of course, in this, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy dropped the belts to Red Dragon. This week? Yeah.
Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, so Red Dragon takes the belts. Coming out with the belts, FTR, along with their brand new manager, Bret the Hitman Hart, because, sorry folks, he's not debuting for quite a while, because he does not show up until after the Owen Hart tournament is over. I'm calling that right now.
So
I don't think there's any universe where Martha's not there to present the trophy at the end, and I don't think there's any universe where Martha and Bret are in the same building.
I could see them being in the same building, but being kept separate. I mean, Punk and fucking help me out here, guys.
I just don't think that's necessarily something they wanted.
Well, they can be in the same building. We just need video
they
footage from them, backstage with people keeping them apart.
Yeah, we don't need that. All right, in the semi-main, which if you're counting, yes, I booked 9 matches because I'm Tony Khan and I can do whatever the hell I want. Is a number 1 contenders match featuring Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega, with Kenny going over as the new number 1 contender. In the main event for the AEW World Championship is a triple threat featuring CM Punk in his first title opportunity versus Adam Page versus a man who weasels his way into the title match, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And this match results in Maxwell Jacob Friedman being crowned king.
Yeah, but nobody will see it because you overbooked the pay-per-view and it'll end up like Halloween Havoc 98.
That's factually inaccurate. I'm okay with, cutting time on some of those other matches.
Man, I don't know. I think I got to go with Johnny's card just because he had Punk in the main event, and maybe I didn't make this clear, but I was always under the impression this would be the Chicago Stadium show, but I don't think we ever specified that.
I think we just specified September, which is always Chicago. So
I can't believe I'm saying that. I got to go with Johnny on this one. Although
I put Punk where he belongs in the second match.
Oh man, I think I have to give it to Jer. Because, well, yes, he's got Punk in a horrible position on the card. The rest of the card is really good. And I think the match quality makes up for it. I think you can present the Kenta CM Punk match as a spectacle that allows it to be featured earlier in the card while still holding a prominent place.
I am probably going to go with Sean's card. Now, well, here's the reason. The only problem I had with Johnny's card is the overuse of multi-man matches. 4 ways, 3 ways.
I didn't even like
7
that
ways, 8 ways.
Right?
Yours were fine though.
I have 3.
Yeah,
I have the same number as he does.
I have his are better
matches.
I also don't have nearly as many gimmick matches as either of you two.
I have 1 gimmick match.
Oh, that's the same number as mine. His is like a Vince Russo card. Every match has got a gimmick.
Oh my god.
Now you listen here. Sports Entertainment Extreme was a tremendous stable.
No, Triple X was an amazing stable. Sports Entertainment Extreme was awful.
Fair enough.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our show tonight. We'll be back at a normal time next week, more than likely. Sounds like a stacked Dynamite card, which means I'm sure people's entrances are going to get cut short. And
overrun, actually.
Yeah. Confirmed overrun this week. So
Right.
set your DVRs for like an extra half hour.
That's what they're saying. Set your DVRs for an extra 30 minutes. So they're going over and
Yes,
they're going
They
long.
got 7 matches. They have to.
When the TSN app cuts us off, I can be pissed.
Yes, absolutely.
Uh,
Oh, and Rampage airs earlier this week, 7 p.m. I think.
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Jared, where can we find you at, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Jamie Virtue. I post all sorts of wrestling and, random stuff. You can find me on the Facebook on my wrestling group page, Dark Match Drive. It's connected to running a Google Drive with 5. It was a tie. We all kind of voted for each other's. So
the circle
it
jerk.
was 1-1-1.
Oh, man.
That's very apt considering the result here.
But yeah, Dark Match Drive Facebook page. I've got 61 members at the moment. We post and talk about all sorts of wrestling stuff, and I probably need to cut down on my 25 posts a day if I plan on passing these university exams in the next week. So, it is what it is. But wrestling is
pick
life.
up your slack.
So yeah, could somebody drop the link in the YouTube?
Johnny.
We're doing
That's
this?
be a Johnny
Yeah.
fan.
I got you.
All right, perfect. Feel free to join. Just join the discussion. I post GIFs of WCW commentary stuff from '95, and it's
I know we
fun
had some
stuff.
people from here join last week. I think after last week.
Yeah, there was at least one person joined from,
and we got our first troll try to join too.
Did we? I noticed
we did.
somebody joined and then disappeared immediately.
One of our trolls?
I doubt it.
I figured they might have heard us talking wrestling or Jared's plug that one.
I'd love
This was
hitting
just one of
milestones.
This was just one of those normal ones. One of those join every group they can trolls. Profiled 2 months old in 2,000 groups.
Also, Johnny, I was watching this the other day. We look ridiculous in the 4th row.
I can believe it. Would you believe I was actually watching that the other day on Honor Club?
Circle jerk is getting more intense as we speak. Anyways, Johnny. Oh, sorry. Justice.
Why didn't you tell us that?
Tell you what.
Apparently, the troll was one of Kate's alt accounts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I didn't even know. Wait, she has an alt account I don't know about? I don't even know about the other 3. I'm losing track.
I know there's 2 in my suggested friends list.
Yeah.
Now she's joking. I'm too.
Oh, okay.
To figure out
Yeah,
if
I was
she's
gonna
with
say.
us or the ship has sailed for me, and I'm about to go make it worse.
This is what I tolerate, guys.
She has tons you don't know about. Justin says Rampage has lost me, to be honest. Honestly, the card's really stacked for this Friday. That maybe. Oh, wait, no, I won't be able to watch this Friday because I have a.
Oh, and
That's something I can't
Battle of
talk
the
about.
Bands is Saturday too.
Yeah, but
Yep.
wait, Battle of the
Or
Who?
whatever.
Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, that. Whatever.
What is it, bands? It's like what? Wait, watch a School of Rock?
Yeah. That is
Going live would
Saturday.
definitely help Rampage.
Saturday TSN 3 at 8 o'clock for Canadian viewers.
If you want to support the channel, feel free to do so over on Patreon, patreon.com/Fandom Empire. Join today because that is, in fact, the way. The AEW cards are in. According to Mrs. Jarrett, it was just one giant circle jerk. Nobody won. Maybe we'll have to get somebody else who isn't involved in it to judge it next time.
Where's
That's
Kieran
gonna
when
do
you
it.
need him?
That's going to do it for us. Kieran wasn't here tonight, but if you missed Star Wars Wastelands,
Thank
go
God.
check it out. The Star Wars Wastelands broadcast, episode number 2, is up on the channel. Talked a whole lot of the Phantom Menace. And big thanks to Tommy B for joining us earlier. That's going to do it for us, people. Good fucking night.